a walk-off winner for the Fish on opening day. And it's cut on and missed. That thing is back, and it's gone. And this team is electric.
Very good Tuesday evening to you on this 13th day of January 2026. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. We've got an awesome show for you ahead per usual. Owen Caissie will be our headliner, Cubs' #1 prospect that was traded over from Chicago to Miami on Wednesday. I can officially report that Owen is in Florida, in Jupiter. He's working out, but we will get to him in a couple of minutes. We also have some arbitration deals that we want to discuss. Some sources that are telling us that some Marlins players are going to participate in the WBC in the middle of March. So we got a lot to get into today, Jack. There's a little bit, we're starting to pick up that buzz, that baseball buzz with that big trade. There's some news too. You told me Nolan Arenado is off to Arizona. So things are starting to pick up. This will be Marlin centric. We will also unveil your beautiful idea. This was all Jack McMullen. He said, you know what? I want to hear from the people. I said, okay, let's get calls. Well, we can't get calls because it's a live stream. Let's do the voicemails. We will do the voicemails after Love It or Leave It.
I love it. Yeah, I actually love that. I'm not leaving that, but
yeah.
No, I know that's something you've always wanted to do, right? It's like I want to take callers. You interned for Mad Dog.
I was Steve from Old Bridge.
Sports talk radio is in your blood, man. And like callers are the crux of sports talk radio. So really excited. And I know that we're planning on doing that throughout the season on Marlins on Deck. I know that, pretty much every single time you take the air with Marlins on Deck, you'd like to have a voicemail stored so you can listen to a fan and react to that fan, which is really exciting. And we'll key you in as we progress on how to get involved there on the voicemail front. Also, fun thing with Owen Caissie, we officially decided on our nickname that we are going to use in the Marlins radio booth for Owen Caissie this year. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. I had did I have the gong? No, I didn't want the gong. I wanted the drum roll. I don't have it. Of course I don't, but that's okay. Okay. So how I was thinking about this morning. How do I want to set this up with Owen Caissie? So last Wednesday, Caissie is traded to Miami. Again, #1 prospect, sends Edward Cabrera. We got 2 other prospects as well. What it felt like was a big party that we had. And sometimes the best part of the party is the next day recapping, looking at the photos, going back to the place of the establishment and picking up some of the pieces. Oh my God, I forgot my jacket. Oh my goodness, do you remember I had this? What is that equivalent to the Owen Caissie trial? I'm very curious to get some additional residue, some thoughts after maybe something we missed on the Wednesday or Thursday emergency pod.
Yeah, honestly, man, I think just sitting back and realizing that you have one of the premier power bats in minor league baseball joining your fold. Like a further and deeper appreciation of what you just got back. For someone that had an amazing year, Edward Cabrera was arguably the Marlins pitcher of the year this year. It was 130 innings, 140 innings at a 3.5 ERA. But what you got back was a consensus top 100 prospect in baseball, and by some outlets, a top 50 prospect in baseball that has been one of the more prolific power bats in the minor leagues, in the upper minors as a young guy over the last 2 to 3 years. And that just sitting with that idea and knowing that he will be implemented into the Marlins lineup on a pretty much everyday basis this year is really exciting. On top of a young middle infielder with some serious power potential in Christian Hernandez, on top of a young corner infielder with some serious power potential in Edgardo De Leon, like just sitting and ruminating with the package is the most fun thing for me, because you just cashed in on somebody that has been on the IL north of 10 times in his major league career. And you got a consensus top 100 prospect back and more, and maybe a ton of home runs for your club for the foreseeable future.
So with Owen Caissie, he is coming to Miami, and I think the real important thing to look at is with the top prospect, and this is the first time the Marlins have acquired a #1 prospect, not a top, a #1 prospect, like consensus in an organization. Yeah. Peter Bennick's first ever. We know the track record with the Marlins now with Kyle Stowers, one of the top premier prospects with Baltimore. Augustin Ramirez in the mix. Heck, we can go back to Xavier Edwards, but he really wasn't. Well, he was developed here a little bit. But let's just talk Augustin and Kyle Stowers. we now have proof in the pudding that those guys who come from different organizations, top prospects, have had the years that they had. Stowers, All-Star, and Augustine Ramirez, 20-plus home runs as a catcher. My question to you, is this the most pressure that this regime has ever had to successfully develop a player like Owen Caissie?
Probably. And to build on your point, Stowers was a change of scenery candidate in Baltimore at the time of the trade. You mentioned he was a top 5 prospect in the organization. That was like 2-3 years prior to the trade. This guy had gotten up to the big leagues, struggled, gotten back to the big leagues, struggled again. There was already some trial and tribulation in Kyle Stowers' Orioles tenure. There was a ton of promise left, obviously, but it just never really came to fruition, and he got some runway with Baltimore at the major league level. With Augustine Ramirez, it was a different case, but Augustine was not the top prospect in the organization, to your point. He was like 4th or 6th. He was in that range right there. And Augustine, I think the shortcomings at the time were more well documented than an Owen Caissie. Like Augustine, you knew that the catching was kind of a work in progress. And we saw that obviously last year, and he's been putting in the work, and really excited to chat with Augustine a little bit later on this month about the progress that he's made behind the dish defensively. But with Caissie, not only is it the best prospect that they have acquired, it's the most complete prospect that they've acquired. So I think we're looking at not a finished product, because nobody's a finished product, especially when they first get to the big leagues. And so much of what Peter Bendix and the baseball operations department is preaching right now is that development does not stop at the major league level. But in terms of being far along in the minor leagues and having, quote unquote, nothing left to prove in the minor leagues,
like MLB
Caissie,
ready.
Yes, Caissie fits that bill, and he also has that top billing of being a number 1 prospect in a major market organization.
I know home runs isn't everything. I know that we like to educate in OPS, and we love that stuff. But
it's a lot.
It's a big reason why he's here, right? The impact, the power. If let's just say he's fully healthy, okay, and he plays, 95% of the games. What is the number of home runs do you think? Or not think, because I don't want you to go. I want you to really feel safe at a number with Owen Caissie with dingers this year.
I think you could see a similar output to what we saw from Augustine Ramirez this year. I think they progress in a similar way. So if Caissie plays the whole year in the big leagues, I think 25 is a realistic, fun number to shoot for. And in year 2, 30 is a realistic, fun number to shoot for.
At 25.
At 25 years old. We could be looking at Caissie and Augustine Ramirez's 30 home run threats with Kyle Stowers, who was flirting with 30 last year, in 2027, in 2028. That's how you get better. You develop power within your system. There's this old adage in baseball where you got to pay for power. Guess what? Sometimes you can pay via trade, and that's how you went and got Stowers. That's how you went and got Augustine, and that's how you went and got Owen Caissie.
So you have to be thrilled. You have to be overjoyed with the acquisition of Owen Caissie. Now, the spring is going to be interesting. Owen Caissie in 2024 hit .333 with 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, 13 hits in 39 at-bats with the Cubs in 2024. You're probably asking, well, what happened last year? Was he not with the big league club? He did. He did break big. He was with the big league team when they did go to spring training. However, he missed last year with a groin strain in that first week of big league camp, which forced him to miss, spring training with the Cubs. How important is this spring training for Caissie, and what are some of the things that we need to possibly look at, especially, Jack, with an outfield that is lefty heavy?
I think it's a big spring training. I don't think that it's an end-all, be-all spring training. I think if this guy struggles, that's okay. That doesn't mean that 26 is a lost year. If you want to jog your memory, I would highly recommend going back and looking at Kyle Stowers' 2025 spring training. This guy really
21
really
Ks, 40 ABs.
And I don't think he had a single extra base hit, and Kyle Stowers was a top 10 hitter in Major League Baseball in 2025. I am of the camp that you should place minimal stock in rough spring trainings. I do think that you can place some stock in incredible spring trainings. But I think it's big for him to get acclimated to a new organization. It'll also be big for him to get acclimated into a new lineup and a new role where the odds are stacked in favor of him being on the opening day roster, and he's going to have every opportunity. Versus last year in Chicago, They just brought Kyle Tucker in. And oh, by the way, Ian Happ has won Gold Glove after Gold Glove, and he's on an extension. And oh, by the way, Pete Crow Armstrong is the makings of a future superstar. And I haven't even mentioned Seiya Suzuki, who is, a DH fourth outfielder for them and drove in 100 in 2025. He had minimal shot, even without an injury, to make the big club out of camp last year in Chicago. That's not the case this year in Miami. This guy has a route to an opening day lineup spot, maybe in the middle of that lineup. So I think in terms of boosting his candidacy for being the opening day 5 or 6 hitter, spring training is big, but I really don't think it's a make or break type of spring training for him.
That's not the case. I saw what you did there. Case.
I didn't mean to do that, but I kind of love that I did it.
Okay. I love that you unintentionally did that. Okay. Again, we have a lot to get to. We have arbitration updates that we want to give you. WBC, Owen Caissie is on that list of participants for Team Canada, along with Otto Lopez and Liam Hicks. That's half the list. We'll explain it after this interview. But we do want to get to Owen Caissie. We talked about everything you could imagine, the change, the feelings, all of it, what he brings to the organization, who he's spoken to, and we got to know Owen Caissie, the person, a little bit as well. So let's pause. We'll straddle. We'll get to a break. We'll tell you what's going on as far as the Marlins organization is concerned with FanFest, with opening day, and then we'll have Owen Caissie at the other side. Opening day is right around the corner, and we want you to join us at Lone Depot Park on Friday, March 27th. It's going to be a 7:10 first pitch. It's the Marlins. It's the Rockies. 79 wins last year. Marlins are going to break out here in 2026. This squad is going to be led by Sandy Alcantara, Kyle Stowers, Yuri Perez. Hey, if you're lucky, you might see Sandy and Yuri on the same weekend, on opening weekend, and the rest of your fighting fish. Also, stick around after the win. I'm saying it's going to be a win, opening day win, for an electric post-game fireworks show. Secure your tickets today at marlins.com/opening day.
Hey, Fish fans, if you're like me, you are absolutely giddy for opening day and for the Marlins to be back in action. Our first taste of the Fish being back in action, that comes on Saturday, February 7th, well before opening day at 4 o'clock with Marlins FanFest. It's presented by ADT. Come meet your favorite players, walk our beautiful ballpark, play interactive games, and end the night with an amazing fireworks display. You might even have time to stop by the Blue Moon Brew Hall and catch the Marlins Radio live show. Highly recommend you do. Claim your free ticket at marlins.com/fanfest, and we'll see you there.
Well, it's the man you've been waiting for. It's Owen Caissie. It's the guy that Peter Bendix has coveted for what feels like a couple of seasons now. He joins us now. He actually just dealt with the media jackals. He's going to calm it down. He's going to be able to loosen up the collar a little bit. Owen Caissie joins us now. Welcome to Miami, brother. Some of these questions are going to be recycled, and that's okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Your reaction, what emotion to what emotion after you received the call that you got traded?
I felt like it was pretty like just blank face. I don't know. I called my parents after, and they were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, what do you want me to do? I just got traded. All people have different reactions. But like, I was pretty chill about it. I guess it really didn't set in until the next day, maybe even 2 days after, because like I was kind of just thinking, meeting all these people, getting all these texts from the organization. Bye-bye text, like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you," all that stuff. And then like a couple days ago, I got I don't know, random burst of energy. Like, holy crap, I'm a Miami Marlin now. Like I'm not Cub anymore. I'm a Miami Marlin. But at first, it was kind of like, what do I think about this? Is it good for me? Is my good for career? But no, definitely. I'd say it took a couple days to set in. But at the point of the phone call, I was like, damn, I just got traded. Like. And I can't do anything about it. So I had no control. So like that's why I guess I was kind of, for lack of a better term, yeah, like at peace with it. Like, okay, now I just got traded. Like I have a video of me fishing, and I got traded. I was on the phone like, yeah, okay, perfect, thank you, and I hung up. And
were you surprised that you were traded?
Yes and no. Like I know last year that I almost got traded. Like I think the physicals fell through, something like that. I know it was pretty close. And then I played the year. I was sort of surprised I didn't get traded at the trade deadline. I was pretty anxious that week. I was trying not to pay attention to it, but it's almost impossible. Like I delete Twitter. I was like staying off Instagram because like I think I was number one in all the trade talks. like on the trade board. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I was like top 2 or I don't even know. But yes and no. I mean, the Cubs want to win, so they got to get good players. And I'm extremely happy to be part of the Miami Marlins. Like, and I'm happy to be not. I'm saying like I wasn't wanting the Cubs,
Right?
You know what I mean? But to be wanted somewhere it's a good feeling.
Did it make it easier? I guess, obviously there have been so many could be trades over the last year and a half, 2 years for you, but did it make it easier that you've been through this process before and you went through this process when you were 18 years old in the Darvish deal?
Yeah, it made it extremely easy. Like, people forget that. They'd be like, "Oh man, how you feeling?" Like, this is my second one. Like, I've been there, done that. But like, the first trade was definitely different because I think it was 7 months after I got drafted. I think 7 or 8, maybe 6 to 8. I don't know in there. But like then I was kind of freaking out a bit. I'm like, what the heck? I just got drafted and traded. Like, did they not want me? Like, what did I do wrong? And then I had to learn a whole entire new organization again when I just literally learned the Padres. You know what I mean? Because it was COVID, weird times, getting to know everyone was kind of weird. But no, it definitely helped. And it definitely helped getting traded before, dealing with the emotions of it, which I don't know. I feel like I can be kind of emotionless sometimes. But it definitely helped with with my nerves and like the anxiety about it. But, at the end of the day, I was extremely grateful, to be traded, to be wanted. It's a good thing. So yeah, it definitely helped.
Oh, and who have you spoke to within the organization? What's the dialogue been like?
Talked to Pierre Bendix first. He was extremely happy. And I talked to Kapler, talked to Clayton, I've talked to pretty much everyone on the big league staff and all the coordinators. And the dialogue has just been like, we're excited to have you. You're excited. We're excited for you to be a part of this ride. And, I'm very grateful that everyone's reaching out. It shows that they care. And also one thing I will say about the Cubs, I'm very happy that Carter Hawkins called me. And because I got traded before by the Padres and no one from the Padres called me. Now, I don't want to put them on blast or anything like that, but you get drafted by a team, they don't call you that you got traded, kind of weird, right? But I was happy that people from the Cubs called me and said, "Hey man, we're letting you go." But the dialogue with the Marlins has been, we're just extremely happy to have you and you're gonna be a part of this. So, that makes me even more like feel like I am, being welcomed and wanted. So it's a good thing. But just really right now the dialogue is just getting to know people. Over the phone rather than face to face. The only person I met in face is Clayton. Saw him today actually at Cressy. So that was great.
Any teammates?
So Liam Hicksy. Tyler Phillips. I actually roomed with Tyler Phillips in 2023 when I was at Cressy for a month. Funny enough. Yeah. Braxton Garrett.
Cool.
Met him. Anthony Bender, met him. I know Otto Lopez. Play with him.
What about Christopher Morel and Craig Driver? Driver with the Cubs organization for a couple of years, and now he's the first base coach. But okay, so Morel,
I know Morel very well. Yeah, Morel's my boy. He's awesome.
What's with the smirk? Tell us about Morel.
He's just a happy guy, and like he's like his happiness is infectious, and I think it's going to be great for the team because everywhere he goes, he's always smiling, always in a good mood, no matter what. Like he just he's just always happy, and I love Morel, and I can't wait to see him. I actually just realized a couple of days ago that he got signed with the Marlins. I was really happy about it. But those are the guys I know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, and you mentioned during your media availability that the thing that like kind of jumped out to you about the Marlins was they had a crazy second half. From afar, was there something in particular that you admired about them and kind of the way that they went about their business?
They were never out of the game. You know what I mean? It felt like every inning they were rallying. They would be down or they'd be up and they wouldn't stop. It was just every time. Let's score more. And they were just like running with their heads on fire. Like no let up. You know what I mean? Like I was watching these guys on TV. I'm like, damn, like they're going crazy right now. Second half, it was like, holy crap. Like they're going nuts. And, it was really fun baseball to watch. Always. You turn on the Miami game and see what they're doing. Oh, if they're losing, they're coming back. If they're winning, they're scoring more type of thing. You know what I mean? So it was just really like, and everyone seemed like they're having a great time. But they were like serious about it. You know, they weren't messing around. But that's the big takeaway. I was they were always in it and never out of it.
You mentioned in your media availability with the Jackals that you wanted to cut down on the strikeout rate.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into that in the offseason?
Approach. I need to just hone in my approach. If I swing it more at what I want to swing at, I'm going to obviously strike out less. Easier said than done. But I really just need to lay off spin and not go into the pitcher's plan. I feel like I did a better job at certain things in 25 in AAA, you know, laying off the high pitch. But it's just really sticking to my approach. And I feel like if I ultimately do that, my strikeout rate will continue to go down.
Obviously, very few guys like yourself have put up the kind of year that you did in AAA in 24 and then end up back there in 25 for the entire year, and yet you level up. You put up a better year. And you mentioned the K rate. Like, the K rate is down from 23 to 24 to 25. The power numbers were up from 23 to 24 to 25. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself as a hitter over the last, like, 2-3 years in the upper minors?
Man, it doesn't matter if I get out. Stop caring. Literally stop caring. You're going to get another opportunity. And, you know, I'm blessed in my like in my journey right now in my career, I have that, you know, I'm blessed to be able to have another opportunity, because some guys, you know, don't get it. You know, you never know when you're going to play the last game. But as of right now, you know, I know that I have the opportunity to play. So it's just really like, who cares, man? Like, learn from it. Like, learn from your mistakes. And, you know, obviously you're going to fail, but do your best not to fail. And it's just really honing in my approach to where, you know, every year I feel like I leveled up, and, you know, I know what I need to do for the next steps. But, you know, I'm watching myself hitting home runs right now. I'm kind of liking it. But
sorry for our audio audience. We're showing some B-roll of Owen Caissie just ripping the cover off the ball to get you guys excited.
It's really just like honing into my approach and knowing who I am as a player. And like in 2023, I had kind of like my breakout season in AA. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to try and hit the ball as hard as I can. Like, literally, I don't care about anything else. I'm trying to hit the ball 140. You know, 2024 in AAA, I was kind of, you know, my power numbers were a little bit down. I was injured the whole year. I got sports hernia surgery at the end of 2024. You know, but that wasn't an excuse. I was trying to really level up as a baseball player, like be more handsy. But I was like, okay, you know, 2024 offseason going into 25, I was like, okay, let me get back to this. You know, I'm trying to step on something here. And really just finding a happy medium, because at the end of the day, I don't need to swing hard to hit the ball hard. So I need to remind myself that sometimes. It's like, I don't need to try and kill it, and just bat on ball and let everything take care of itself.
Owen Caissie with us now. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen giving us some good amount of time. We got a lot to get into still. Jack has some home run calls he wants to run by you as well. But I was thinking about this. When you hear about Kyle Stowers, who is one of the top prospects in Baltimore system, you know, was traded, didn't have a great, you know, half of a year, but explodes an all-star last year. Augustin Ramirez, one of the top prospects with the Yankees, comes over, success. When you hear that and you are now in those shoes of those guys from last year, what feelings do you get?
I mean, not to say that those guys were bad before, but the Marlins must be doing something right, because they went nuts. You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing that's making that happen? Is it the new scenery? Is it the training? And I still have yet to find out, you know, and I can't wait for it. But seeing that really excites me, because, you know, it just shows the level of talent they're bringing in and what they're doing. So that's the really exciting part about it.
Owen Caissie, I'm curious defensively where your level of comfort is in a couple of places, because obviously the majority of your time has been spent in right field, but, you know, a little bit in left. I saw 4 starts in center in Iowa, which is awesome in 2025. Yeah. Where do you feel like your versatility lies, I guess, defensively? Because everybody's favorite word in this organization seems to be optionality. And that's something that, you know, you kind of preach with every guy.
You know, I feel comfortable in the corners. And at the end of the 25 season, I was like, look, just start putting me in center field. I was like, honestly, I was just start doing it, see what happens. And they were like, okay. And nothing went wrong. Like, I did just fine. But obviously I play more games in right, so I'll be more comfortable in right, but the corners are fine for me. And really just one thing I need to get better at and I'm working at is first step quickness, being locked in on every single pitch. And, going from Iowa to the Bigs, Quentin Berry, the third base coach for the Cubs, he also did the outfielding. He did a great job. And, he really appreciated me. Your first step needs to be better. We're going to work on this. And, I reaped the benefits. I saw my first step quickness getting better. I saw my, just because of that, my out the chute, at 5-meter radius, 10-foot radius, whatever, got way better. And I was catching balls I wasn't before. I was getting close to balls where before I wouldn't even be close to, and I could feel it. So it's just really, I needed to hone in and just own the first, 2 to 5 steps of every, read and route. And, I'll be better because ultimately if you do that, you can cover more ground. And that's all it is, covering ground. Just cover ground and go, hawk these baseballs down because, I owe it to my teammates. If I can catch anything, that I get to, it'd be great. It's just really getting better at that. And I had talks with, some guys yesterday about that with the my organization, and we're on par with it, and we're going to talk more about it. But, I'm really ready to dial it in, and I feel like that'll just take my game to the next level, make me more of a all-around player rather than just like a hitter.
How do you work on reaction time? Is that something that starts in the gym? Is it just reps?
It's honestly the only way you can work at it outside of a game is shagging BP, like very hard. Like you're going 100% for one round of BP, like 5 guys hitting one round. And you're working on, your prep step, the right timing of your prep step. The timing of your prep step really matters, like being in the air when the ball crosses the plate so you can just hit the ground and react. You know what I mean? Not being late or early with it, because that really matters. Because as soon as last year I was watching Pete do it, and then I'd be behind Nico in right field, right? He'd be playing second, and I'd watch him do it, and I'd try to match him. He's really good at it. And then when I noticed I started matching him and getting into the rhythm of my prep step, the first step quickness became a lot easier.
Got you. It's funny you mentioned that because you're 23 years old. Like I've spoken to 28-year-old outfielders that just started really treating batting practice like a game setting.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Kind of just like, that was kind of just thing with the Cubs. Like, hey, just get your work in batting practice. Like, yeah, you can do all these drills and everything like that, but the only thing close to game ball off bat is batting practice.
Gotcha.
And like the balls don't even have to be hit at you. Just react. Like you get your reactions up and you'll reap the benefits. And I think, you can, no matter how many fumbles you take, it's not the same as, real ball off bat.
Yep. Yeah. Makes sense.
All right.
I got a couple
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jack.
What you got?
No,
I was going to say, I've got a couple
Jack.
non-baseball reference. Ooh, tough. Yeah, okay. I've got a couple non-baseball that I'm going to give you here. You are now officially a South Florida resident. Is there anything that you're giddy to do now that you live in Miami?
I love fishing, and I've been fishing the whole entire offseason because I'm in Jupiter here. Enjoy the sun. From Canada.
You look like you burn.
No, I'm not a beach guy. I don't like sand, but I love fishing, right? And I've really got recently into saltwater because before freshwater for me, but really just fishing, man. I love fishing. And I've basically fished almost every single day of this off season. Being from Canada, people are like, oh, he likes it cold. I'm gonna be real with you. No one likes it cold. If this person tells you they like being cold or like being in the cold, they're lying. So I'm excited for the warmth, honestly.
Came to the right place.
Yeah.
Last one for me. You said this in your press conference media availability. Playoff baseball is on the way. Yeah. What made you say that?
You can see they're heading in the right direction. They're getting pieces. They're getting players. You saw what they did in the second half. Like it clicked. You saw it clicked. You know what I mean? They were playing great baseball. They just missed the playoffs last year. Right?
Yes.
And I feel like if they just take what they did in the second half and carry that through to this year, playoffs.
And Jack, they were like 10. They were at least double-digit games under 500 at points in the season.
Yes.
That was just to get back to 500 at that point is pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's if you just look at it like that, it's if they can carry what they did last year in the second half into this year coming up, I mean, go and take it.
Excited to have you in the fold, man. One more. I was workshopping nicknames. I think we're just going to go with whenever you hit a home. That makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of people are going with Big Red for you right now. I know the Marlin social team is running with Big Red.
So
yeah, you're making a face. You got a
he
problem?
He doesn't love it.
No. I've been called Big Red my whole entire life, so I have no problem with that. I know Alex Cohen did the Owen. No, not Alex Cohen. Did he?
I think so. Yeah, Alex.
I think the
Iowa Cubs at the time.
Yeah.
Owen Caissie.
Yeah, he did the Owen Caissie like see you later thing.
Did he? Oh,
I thought think so. Someone's done that.
Okay. Couple others. The two that jumped out to me, the Maple Masher. Has anybody called you that before?
No, that was called Maple Masher.
That's good. That's original.
Yeah.
How about the Great White North? Anybody call you that?
I am very white and I am from the north, so yeah, you can call me that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Maple Masher. I think that's where I want to be.
There you go. There you go.
Cool. Owen Caissie, thank you so much, brother. We really appreciate you, and
thank you.
We're so excited to see you up in Jupiter. I know you're already there right now, working out with some teammates and getting after it. We'll be there in a little bit over a month. Again, thank you for the time. Welcome into the organization. We're so excited to cover you, and best of luck. And we will see you soon. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to break here, come back, love it or leave it. We got an interesting one, plus we got calls on the way. Opening day is right.
Nothing gets a baseball fan going quite like opening day, and the 2026 Marlins season is sure to start off with a bang. Join us at Lone Depot Park on Friday, March 27th at 7:10 p.m. for opening day baseball under the lights. Coming off a 79-win campaign in 2025, the Fish open the year playing host to the Colorado Rockies, and the night will conclude with an epic post-game fireworks show. Don't wait. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/opening day.
Hey, Marlins fans, we are all about ringing in the new year, and you can do that with the Fish on February 7th at our place, Lone Depot Park. It's the place to be for FanFest presented by ADT. It is, again, February 7th from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. You can meet your favorite Marlins. You can listen to your favorite radio program, Jack and I, of course, and you can walk your favorite ballpark and end the night with an epic fireworks show. Start the season off right. Claim your free ticket today at marlins.com/FanFest. All right, couple observations here, Jack. First of all, we're matching without, again, calling each other and saying, hey, do you want to wear the same thing? Both wearing our beautiful black Miami Marlins sweatsuit travel gear. The second
team issued.
thing,
it's okay.
Yeah, team issued. And it is a little bit cooler here in South Florida today. The point I wanted to make here after the Owen Caissie interview, which we appreciate the time. I talked to Clayton McCulley yesterday, and some things share, some things I won't. But the one thing I did want to share, and I think the pivotal part to someone that is from outside an organization joining an organization they've never been to, is personality and clubhouse, ability to mesh. And the one thing that Clayton told me, he goes, dude, this guy is going to fit in seamlessly because he likes to work. He's got a chip on his shoulders, and he is in a boat with about probably 40 other guys in a clubhouse that are looking to prove that they belong here. And he's got the work ethic. Clayton also told me he heard from multiple coaches that reached out and said, dude, you got a winner. You got someone on your hands that's just comes from a great family. But I think more than anything, he does fit this clubhouse, which I think is such an underrated thing, specifically with a top prospect coming from another organization.
100%, man. And we were just texting earlier after, hearing the first parts of the Owen Caissie conversation, and we were saying this guy's going to get along with so-and-so. He's going to get along with so-and-so. The fact that you can already pinpoint friendships for this guy within the clubhouse is a really fun thing to do. And it's fun to think about 6 months, 7 months, 8 months of him hanging around those guys every single day. You have to have camaraderie. It's got to be a sense of brotherhood in that clubhouse. And it seems like he's going to be a perfect fit there.
We're so excited. And again, we're going to post that individual interview on our YouTube page as well if you just want to listen to Owen Caissie and not these two gabbers. Okay, the arbitration deals, Jack. We'll just briefly go over them just so the audience is aware. Anthony Bender, one of the players that he met with Owen Caissie.
Yep.
Third year of arbitration, he settled at $2.8 million. Calvin Fauché is actually the only one that did not reach a settlement. He will, his hearing will take place in Arizona at some place between January 26th and February 13th. Braxton Garrett, he did settle 1.5. Ryan Weathers, 1.3 million. Max Meyer, 980,000, and Andrew Nardi, 800,000. So Calvin Fauché, just the only one that did not reach a settlement. Any thoughts on that, Jack, before we move on?
No, I mean, happy for all those guys that reached a settlement, and happy for Calvin as well. He will eventually, I'm sure, reach a number that he and the Marlins are happy with. But it's not an uncommon trend where you've got 7 of 8 or 8 of 9 guys that reach a settlement. This is kind of on par with what you see around the league. And it's one of those things that's like, it's delicate, but it's also just business of baseball. So surely it's going to get resolved very quickly. And this was kind of par for the course when you looked around the league.
Let's spearhead the WBC.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you this. Who's the most interesting Marlin that I'm about to name that's playing in the WBC and why? Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy Alcantara for Dominican Republic. Augustine Ramirez for the Dominican Republic. Otto Lopez for Team Canada. Liam Hicks for Team Canada. Owen Caissie for Team Canada. And Yidi Capet for Team Cuba, 23-year-old infielder, played most of his time in High A Beloit with the Miami Marlins, hit 278.
Yes. So Caissie, because he's the new guy to the fold, and he will also likely be one of, if not the best power threats in Team Canada's lineup during group play, with Freddie Freeman opting out. So Freddie Freeman will not play for Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic. It's kind of Owen Caissie's show there from a power production standpoint, especially from the left side, but excited to see how Hicks fills in there as well. I don't know if Augustine Ramirez is officially on the actual roster. I believe he's in the player pool, which is like 35 guys that are eligible to be selected for, the Dominican Republic's WBC team. If Augustine Ramirez is playing and he's in that lineup for the Dominican Republic, this guy learning through osmosis for 2 weeks from Soto and from Caminero and from Ketel Marte, all of these guys, that Dominican lineup is as loaded as I've really ever seen one. Team USA looks great. The DR looks maybe better right now. And if Augustine can hold down the catching spot for them in the DR, I'm really excited for him to be part of a box office watch.
Yeah, he feels like one of those guys. If you didn't know who Augustine Ramirez was before, he's the type of guy to embrace this moment, especially being in Miami at Lone Depot Park. The other guy, go ahead.
No, and I just think about him in like the 8 spot for the DR. Like he's not hitting third because Soto's hitting third. Thinking of him as like the 8 hitter. So you've got, this random arm for the Czech Republic or whoever the heck is in their pool, just throwing to Augustine. And it's like, okay, my time to shine here. You do not get a break in the 8 hole.
It's like, I just got through Juan Soto and this guy. Okay, all right, Augustine Ramirez. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The other guy sticking with the country, Sandy Alcantara. I think this is an interesting spot for Sandy because he is now going to be with guys like Freddie Peralta, Christopher Sanchez, Framber Valdez. So he did start a game last year. I think he went 3 2/3 or something like that. But it's always interesting for me, Jack, to have a guy that is as pristine as Sandy Alcantara in your organization participate in this sort of tournament. I don't know if there's pitch count. I don't know how it goes, but that is the only interesting part. This is that from my perspective that I'm just like, okay, Sandy, like don't throw too hard. Don't throw too many pitches. Like we need you for opening day.
But it really matters. And that's my big thing here where it's like, you're not saying no to that guy when he's so passionate about putting that jersey on and representing the Dominican Republic. He's somebody that, really takes pride in being from the Dominican Republic. So I'm really happy for Sandy to get this opportunity. And listen, like there are some guys that will opt out and say, hey, it's best for me. Like Yohan Duran is not pitching for the Dominican Republic because he pushed past what he thought his innings limit would be in 2025. He's not going to throw in 26. He wants to prioritize his Philly season. This is not Sandy prioritizing the WBC over the Marlins season. This is him saying, I'm at the point in my career where this really means something to me. It's like Skeens throwing for the U.S. Skeens started his college career at the Air Force Academy. This really means something to him. So really cool that Sandy gets this opportunity again.
Love it or leave it, or calls?
What do you want to do first? I like calls. Let's do the new flashy thing first.
All right, let's do it. I was going to make some ChatGPT MP3 intro for this segment, but I know you wouldn't have approved. You would have been like, oh my God.
I would approve. I would just call it corny.
Yes. Okay. So again, we mentioned this from the top in the monologue that Jack came up with the idea to create a voicemail for the Marlins radio network. Anytime you have a thought, question, comment, concern, relationship advice, you just hit us up. You let us know. So we did get some good calls, voicemails. Okay, so let's start here from the top. We'll do Paulo from Miami. Okay, Paulo, what you got?
Have you guys heard anything about whether or not the Marlins are in on any of the veteran pitchers that are available either via free agency or the trade market? Because I feel like this team could use a veteran pitcher outside of Sandy that could, they could pair with and take some of the load off the younger guys and the rest of the rotation.
Okay, so good thought from P, and I'm going to go through this list for you, Jack.
Yeah.
The free agents from a starting pitching standpoint, okay? And remember last year, the Marlins did sign Cal Quantrill. It did not go well for Cal and the Marlins. Would you rather go with someone in, let's say, a Miles Michaelis, a Nick Martinez, instead of seeing what you have in another year of Jansen Junk, Ryan Gusto? And I'm hypothetically just throwing this out here, Jack, just to kind of make the point, because there are some starting pitchers out on the market, okay? Nick Martinez, Chris Bassett, Patrick Corbin, Eric Fetty, Justin Verlander, 43 years old. I'm just looking at the list. Miles Michaelis, Nestor Cortez, maybe a reunion in South Florida. Or do you rather go to the well, the plethora of talent that you have, and what you, I think, take a lot of pride in, the depth of the organization from an arm standpoint?
Yeah, I think there's more than enough internally. I don't think you need to go hunting in the Miles Michaelis waters, or, the Bassett waters are interesting because that guy's going to cost a heck of a lot more money than I think people around the league would expect him to. Like, there's a world where Bassett's getting a 2-year deal at $18 million annually. And it's like, whoa, is he really getting that? I don't think that necessarily makes sense for a lot of teams right now, especially when you have this depth at starting pitching that the Marlins do have. They felt comfortable moving Cabrera because of what they have waiting in the wings in the rotation. So I'm looking at a front two, co-aces, if you will, of Sandy and Yuri, and I'm so fired up about that. Ryan Weathers, this feels like his breakout season. 25 felt like his breakout, but this is, it started to look like it, and then injuries got in the way, and then it looked like it again at the end of the year. I'm really excited for Weathers. And then you have like this laundry list of guys that are competing for the 4 and 5 spot in the rotation, whether it's Meyer, Junk, Gusto, Major, to your point. And oh, by the way, you got 2 of the best left-handed starting pitchers in minor league baseball in White and Snelling that are knocking on the door and finish the year in AAA. So for me, I feel like spring training is where we're going to learn what the rotation looks like as opposed to the rest of the offseason.
And I'll add Braxton Garrett into that mix as well,
Braxton.
Jack. 2023 started game 2 in that playoff series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Abe from Miami.
What's up, boys? Abel here. Abel on the mobile. Listen, man, I'm so glad you guys are doing this. This is so fun. It's great to interact with the fan base, our growing fan base, and especially in the digital media that you guys are doing it in. It's perfect. You smell that? Baseball season, baby. But I have a quick question. We traded Edward Cabrera this offseason, top prospect from the Cubs. Love that trade. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Are we going to go out and try to get somebody else to solidify that rotation at the back end, or are we just going to go with what we have? I think we should go with what we have. I love that we're going to hopefully have a healthy rotation for the first time in like 3 years. So I'm just excited about that, but I'm intrigued to see what you guys' thoughts about that is. And, looking forward to more of these during the season. WBC right around the corner, FanFest. Oh, it's a great time. One last thing. Go Canes, baby.
The great Abel from Miami. What a call that was. He's done
awesome.
that before. He's definitely done that before.
You smell that?
That was such a good. I was like, what is that noise? But yeah, he is starting to smell baseball. Go Canes, absolutely, Abe.
Yeah.
We just kind of discussed this, and he's leaning also in the direction as us of like, all right, let's kind of go with the Jansen junk. Let's go with the Ryan Gusto. Let's see. Like, I feel comfortable about junk, but more about what Ryan Gusto is. What is Max Meyer as a starter? I mean, we've seen him. It's kind of like when you said it's a breakout for Ryan Weathers. How about can we just do the healthy season for Ryan Weathers, the healthy season for Max Meyer? Because we've seen the breakout, Jack.
For sure. 100% we've seen the breakout. I think more so for Weathers, but Meyer, like, it comes in spurts, right? Yeah, that 14 punch-out game against Cincinnati, but after that, he struggled a little bit across a 3-start stretch, and then he got hurt. Was that injury-related? I guess we'll find out, right? So excited to get that full season of Weathers because we know what that guy can be. With Meyer, I still think we're learning a little bit, but great point about Braxton Garrett after the last call. Like, Garrett, what does he look like off of injury? You know what I mean? Is it going to take an acclimatization process, or is it going to be, plug and play right away? So I feel like those questions will be answered in spring training in the first month of the season.
Dude, and I know fans are asking, free agent. I get the pitcher thing, like, let's get a veteran, but like, Cal Quantrill, Johnny Cueto, you got to get lucky with some of these things. Like Jose Quintana with the Mets a couple of years ago, excellent. Like, an excellent find. But for every Jose Quintana, I'm telling you, man, there's a bunch of just flops.
For sure.
And I much rather, this is why you have the depth and the organizational, belief in the arms that you have. This is for this exact reason. You said it. You trade Cabrera because you feel comfortable. Okay. I think this is Lewis from Ireland.
Hi, guys. My question is, how do you think we're going to perform this year? Where do you think we're going to come? How do you think the new trades are going to help us? And yeah, how do you think the season's going to go for us during the off-season and then the start of the season?
Cheers,
Fish
Lewis.
across the pond, baby. How about that?
Was that Ireland or was that where? Maybe it was United Kingdom.
That sounded
sure.
Irish. Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it was British or Irish, but regardless, really appreciate you tapping in from across the pond. This is fun, and that's the beauty of voicemails, right? You don't have to be listening live. You can hop in anytime you want. It could be 3 a.m. Eastern if you're getting up in Ireland right now.
Absolutely. So to his question, I think the trades I think it's really going to work out for the Marlins. We're very excited about Owen Caissie. I'm very excited, and I think fans are starting to feel a little momentum going into 26. There is some buzz going on. You start to look around the positional aspect of things, and you look at Kyle Stowers, you look at Jacob Marcy, you look at, you got your second baseman and your shortstop. There's a lot more answers than there were questions, headed into this year, and I think that was the goal of 25. And the bonus part of it was 79 wins. The bonus part was figuring out about Augustin Ramirez and a guy that can hit 20-plus home runs.
Yeah, I think the big part of 26, I feel like the thing to watch is building on the foundation that you built in 2025. 24 felt like an assessment year, at least from afar for me. 25
Absolutely.
was that lay the foundation year, and 26 is that start of let's build on a rock solid foundation type of thing. I'm not saying you build on 79 wins because it's baseball. The wrong guy gets hurt, and then all of a sudden your season goes by the wayside, frankly. Like, that's what happens to some teams around Major League Baseball. So I feel like something to watch in 26 would be full health. You want as many guys to stay as healthy as possible because there were some injury blows last year that we were dealt. Norby was out a couple of times. Stowers was out. Griffin Conine was out the majority of the year. Health is a big one for me, and also building on the guys that you feel like you found in 25. Xavier Edwards, you know what his role is now, and you found him in 24, but you really know what you got in 25 because he replicated a 2.5-win season. Otto Lopez, you know what you have. You have the starting shortstop for the Miami Marlins here. A couple other guys, Stowers, Marcy, you feel like you know what you have from 2 months in center field. Augustine, Hicks. It's going to be fun to see those guys build on a foundation they laid in 25.
Another storyline too, Jack. Who's going to lead off this year? I'll leave that in the open. Who will lead off for the Miami Marlins on opening day against the Colorado Rockies on Friday night?
Are you going to give me a guess?
I think I'm going to go with Marcy.
I think I'm X and Marcy in the 2-hole.
Okay. I'm no complaints there.
Yeah.
Last one. At not Barth Marlins.
Yeah.
Hey guys, only question is, how concerned are you about the Marlins not having anyone on the roster who can play first base?
Interesting.
All right,
Short,
go ahead,
sweet,
Jack.
to the point.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess the pushback there would be you feel like Morel is enough of an athlete to go learn first base pretty darn quickly. You also feel like Griffin Conine is enough of an athlete to go learn first base pretty darn quickly. And you had some guys over there defensively last year that struggled a little bit. Eric Wagaman made strides over the course of the year, but there were times where Wagaman looked a little uncomfortable defensively at first base. Matt Mervis at the beginning of the year looked a little bit uncomfortable at points at first base. So I don't think you're taking this Gold Glove first base situation from 25 and flipping it on its head in 26. I feel like you're taking two really good, really twitchy athletes and asking them to learn the position over the course of an offseason. And I do think that these internal options made a lot of sense for the Marlins. So I'm excited to see how Griff and Morel kind of blossom at first base.
And there's examples of guys, and they're athletes. Bryce Harper going to first base. In my time with the Minnesota Twins, Joe Mauer going from behind the dish to first base as well. So, and that's not taking away how difficult that position is. Right. But to Jack's point, I think they're confident, particularly with, again, we go back to the development and the trust, and there's a foundation there that, development doesn't stop at the major league level.
Yeah.
Okay, good calls. Again, we're going to try to do this every single show and hopefully carry it into the regular season with Marlins on deck. Got about 10 minutes left. Jack, I had a couple love it or leave it, but because of what has happened over the last 48 hours with this particular story, we have not discussed this, okay? You know it's coming. I hope it's not controversial. We're going to get the music going right now. So, it has taken on a life, and I have a lot of it last 10 minutes. Love it or leave it, if you haven't seen this clip, Liam Cohen, who is the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, outstanding, by the way, lineup of playoff games in the wild card.
Yes, it was amazing.
The Jags lost to the Buffalo Bills. The Jaguars had this incredible season. After the game, the media jackals all get together and usually are questioning the coach. Why'd you do this? How did this happen? Why didn't you think of doing this in this moment? Instead, there was a local reporter from Jacksonville who had this to say instead.
I want to tell you, congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank
you. Hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank
you. You did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all right?
You, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so for the media hardos, which I'm going to refer to myself as, because you know, we do this for a living. There were a lot of people in the media industry that were not happy with that question, or not even question, that dialogue, that conversation, that vote of confidence from this journalist that basically didn't ask a question, just said, hey, we're really proud of you. Keep your head up. It was a great season. Jack McMullen, love it or leave it?
Neither is neither an acceptable answer. I feel like you're leaving it. Is that fair?
I'll get to
you
mine.
fall into the neither camp.
I'm like, I think it got way too deep.
Yeah,
like,
let me flesh out my thoughts here, and then
go
and
ahead.
then you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Because I'm with you. Like the parade against this and the parade for journalism was nauseating on social media over the last couple of days. I was like, we're not splitting the atom. We're talking about sports, folks. I don't know. Like, is it typical for an end of the season press conference to have a journalist saying you did a great job, we're proud of you? No, it's not. It's 20 seconds. It's okay. It's fine. And he clearly appreciated it. I don't see an issue with it, but I also understand if, you do see a minor issue with it. I just don't think that, this reporter is lighting journalism and the constitution of journalism on fire here. I really don't think that's the case.
I totally agree. I think there's so many things that can be true at once here. First of all, I'll ask you this, Jack McMullen. If this clip doesn't go viral, are we talking about it?
No, absolutely not. Nothing. We don't talk about anything unless it goes viral. That's life in 2026.
So from the journalist standpoint, I can understand why, that is from a journalism standpoint, it is an inappropriate.
It's subjective. It's not objective.
It's just not wired there. As a human being, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it really is. I think the timing is incredibly relevant. The Jaguars have not been good for a while, and they have this first-year coach that has completely changed the culture and tenor and environment of Jacksonville. That is a really cool human interaction. From the journalist standpoint, I can see why people could be rubbed the wrong way. Now, I just think it's gotten so blown out. We've worked so hard at getting that. Oh, that's not your job. Oh, this is not what we went to school for.
The parading your own standards, I don't know. It frustrates me to no end when people are like, I worked so hard for someone to do this that's loosely related to me. It's like, all right, no, you run your own race, man.
This is one of the hardest love it or leave it's because I'm going to give you an answer. I'm going to stick to my principles, and I'm going to say I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it, okay. But I'm not nowhere anywhere. I didn't lose sleep over this. I just think from a technical standpoint, it's probably not the right thing to do. But from a human standpoint, I love it.
On the pendulum, I am 55% love it. So I don't care, but I skew towards love it.
Okay. Love it or leave it, Michael Irvin on the sideline. These are tough ones. Michael Irvin, we know, outstanding. One of the best receivers ever, okay? This guy, it's like the Sister Jean thing at Loyola Chicago where it's like, man, what are we doing? He's on the sideline. He's getting in front of people that are taking videos and photography. He's got his own entourage that's following him, and he's posting things. That is nauseating. I am very much saying, okay, this is about the Miami Hurricanes, Mario Cristobal. I know that they love Michael Irvin. I'm probably going to get some pushback on this, but I'm leaving this.
So I will love that he is there and that fired up. And I love them recapturing the alumni base. Mario Cristobal has prioritized that, right? And Ray Lewis was at the game. They had so many dignitaries. They had so many people that are in the pantheon of Hurricane football that were there for the semifinal against Ole Miss, which is really, really cool. So I love that. I will love Michael Irvin's presence on the sideline. I will leave the belt aspect of Michael Irvin because they hardly... It's not like they beat Ole Miss by 40. I don't think you can pull the belt out at that point. But I will leave
for people that need context here, Michael Irvin after these games he's pulling out this belt, and then there's some sort of jersey or identification,
like a garbage can, and he's smacking his belt on the garbage can.
He is whacking this thing. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, whatever it may be. I thought those were two.
They're not 40-point wins, so I leave the belt aspect, but I love Michael Irvin's presence.
I have one last one.
Okay,
me getting bullied over the phone by Comrex.
Oh yeah,
Let me explain this real quick, and then I'll throw it to you, Jack. So to make a long story short, we have a wonderful device that is able to broadcast and disseminate Marlins baseball on the radio through this very high-tech machine that Kyle Seeloff put me through a lecture. I went through a master's program with this. Such a master's program that I forgot how to update the thing. So one of the things I dread the most is calling customer service, especially when I'm not in the right. If I want to call a hotel reservation that just canceled my hotel, I'm ready to go. Let's go. I'm ready to go 10 rounds. But when it comes to something that is way above me as far as intellectual, it's really uncomfortable. So I get on the phone. I said, hey, how are you? Steven with the Miami Marlins. I'm just looking to update my Comrex. Oh, what's in front of you right now? Do you see the 3 little bars that say Wi-Fi? Yeah, I see it. Just it went to the point where he knew exactly what I was looking at without even me saying anything.
Yeah.
He was nothing he did wrong. It was just more about my own insecurities about being technologically savvy.
Yeah.
And it was tough. I texted you and the boss and I said, this was a rough afternoon for the Steven Strom ego.
Yeah. So I will, as your friend, I leave the ego hit that you took, but everybody needs that once in a while. So I will love the concept a little bit. So I run into that at the car dealership. I run into that at like auto body shops. My car battery died last week. And like, I took a severe ego hit and I was like, you know what? I needed that. So I hope like internally, like 20% of you was like, that was good. But as your friend, I will leave you being bullied over the phone.
Thanks, man. You have anything? You good?
I was thinking about a couple. A lot of them were college football related. I was going to ask you a love it or leave it as it related to the Mendozas, because Fernando Mendoza went to Columbus High School. He is playing the national championship in Miami. He's from Miami. Mendoza, Mario Cristobal went to the same place. I guess love it or leave it, the Miami-centric national championship.
Love it, man. Love it. We've got some real juice going on in South Florida, like even starting with the Panthers and what the Marlins did last year and what they're doing in the offseason and how much momentum they have going into 26. And now what's happening with the Miami Hurricanes. It's awesome. And the connection between Mendoza and, just Miami is incredible. This is why you love sports, right? For the storylines and somehow, some way, 0-star recruits and 5-star recruits that didn't recruit you. You end up at this is the apex, right? This is the national championship, and this is what it's all about. So I'm all in on all the storylines, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm cheering for one team, and that's the U, baby.
Let's throw the U up. Last one. Love it or leave it. Rainouts in the NBA.
Really good pull by you.
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat were postponed because of a leak. Is that what was?
It was storming, and apparently there was condensation on the floor. I have no idea if it was a leak.
That's a big problem. I had an AAU
like
tournament canceled for that. So same level, AAU, NBA.
Got you.
I love it. You have to cancel it. It's too dangerous. You can't do it. You don't want anyone, you can't have players in danger. So I'm loving the cancellation.
Cool. I appreciate that. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. We have another surprise, astounding show next week. Do I name drop any of them or no? Or do I let them wait? Let's just say they're 2 players on the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Thanks again, everyone that called in on the show. Owen Caissie, thank you very much. Adam Nichols, the whole crew helping us out per usual. We are going to be recording on Tuesday. Okay, so that is January 20th. And then, folks, we're close to FanFest at this point. So we only got a couple more Hot Stove show left. Hot Stove shows left. Let's slow it down. And then that's it, man. Then we're headed to Jupiter. You're coming down, Jack, from Pittsburgh. So we're all going to be one happy family again in person.
Yep.
And, again, big thanks to everyone that has listened. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Anything else for you, Jack McMullen?
I don't think so. Go Canes. This is a big one, and excited to recap it quickly on Tuesday.